Hey, Jocelyn with Wolters World, and we're here in Bellavista Cloud Forest Reserve in beautiful Ecuador. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about going to Ecuador with your kids, because really, you should bring your kids to Ecuador. This place is full of adventure. There's hiking and mountain biking and rafting and kayaking and zip lining. We went whitewater tubing. That's right, not whitewater rafting, whitewater tubing. I'm sure Mark will put a clip of that in. Um, anyway, it was fun and wild and amazing, and our kids have loved every minute. Getting back to nature, walking through the forests, and learning so much. And on that, this is like a giant ecology unit. For those of you who homeschool or world school, get here, do your ecology unit here. We haven't even been to the Galapagos, and we have learned about so many microclimates, and just the flora and fauna here is so diverse, and it's just incredible. You would get so much out of it. Your children would be just all the better for it. So that's number 2 on the list, this incredible ecology. Just get here and do it. My third point is that people in Ecuador really like kids. You wouldn't believe how many people, strangers, have come up and talked to our kids. And that said, they're always welcome, but maybe teach your kids a few words of Spanish, like, hello, my name is, and, please and thank you, and, just a little bit. Because people have just completely eaten that up, and our kids don't speak much Spanish, but what they do speak has been acknowledged and loved by all sorts of people here. So bring them and teach them just a little bit of something. So I've mentioned a few really great, wonderful things about bringing your kids to Ecuador. I'm going to mention something that's not so great. Crossing the street in the cities like Quito or Guayaquil or something, it can be a hair-raising experience. I would not say that pedestrians have the right of way, so keep your kids really close. That said, Ecuador is generally a safe country, but in any city, anywhere in the world, keep your kids close, make them hold hands crossing the street, be really aware, just watching and everything as you're going through the city. So general travel common sense, right? There are 3 things when you come to Ecuador that you cannot come without, whether you're traveling with children or not, but especially with children. 1, sunscreen. Even on a cloudy day, you slather on the sunscreen. You'll see locals putting on copious amounts of sunscreen on every exposed bit of skin. You are on the equator. It's called Ecuador for a reason, and the equator, it's a little more intense here, so put on the sunscreen. That said, the second thing you need is water. Bring maybe a refillable bottle, because most of the hotels have ways to refill your water. You can't drink the water in Ecuador, generally speaking, so you just bring a refillable bottle and you can fill it up at the hotels, or buy water as needed. The third thing is a rain jacket. Our kids have lived in their rain jackets. My hair is still wet from the first shower I took when I got here to the cloud forest, because I feel like nothing dries out here. But it rains almost every day in the Highlands at some point during the day, and you never really know when. It's very temperate. The weather is kind of even keel. I'd say like 60s to 70s, during the days, and in the evenings, 50s. But with that, the sun's intense. When the sun is out, it feels hotter, so maybe dress in layers, but always have that rain jacket with you, because at some point, even if it's not raining in one end of Quito, it may be raining in another end of Quito, so just have it with you at all times. It'll make life easier. We have found that Ecuador is what I call car seat light. There are some countries we go to, and everyone that picks us up has car seats ready for our kids, and they don't necessarily have so much of that here. And I suggest this to all parents traveling anywhere. If you have one of those big upright car seats, go to gogobabies.com. Get yourself these little wheels and a telescoping handle to drag the car seat around. It's fantastic and it's really helpful. But because there aren't a lot of car seats, that's really helpful too. Did y'all just see that bird? He just swooped right by me. Awesome. Our kids are a little bit bigger. They're not in the big uprights. Well, Caleb's not at all. Liam still is in a booster seat, so we have something called the Bubble Bum. I've seen them at Walmart and Target. They're available online. They're like $30, and they are safe according to the U.S. transportation boards and the EU and all these other places. But anyway, they're inflatable, so you just blow them up, and they've got a little thing to help with the shoulder strap. So I would really suggest bringing a Bubble Bum or a Go-Go Babies to drag the big car seat if you need car seats. Another wonderful thing about being in Ecuador for us with our kids was our guides. We have had several guides. They have all been excellent. They have all had a lot of education in this. They're not just random people off the street who are telling you things. They go to school for this. They have continuing education classes. Like a couple of them have talked about, oh, I had to go back and get another certification in geology or something. I mean, these people were incredible. And every single one of them adjusted and adapted to our kids being part of this. You know, I'm sure that they have an adult thing sort of planned out, but as soon as our kids were there, they were kind and welcoming with them, and they were putting things on a level that they could understand. It goes back to Ecuadorians really liking kids. So keep that in mind, that you will get awesome guides, and they will keep your kids engaged throughout the entire trip. If you go outside the cities, be ready to rough it a little bit, or a lot if you want. You know, maybe it takes a while to get hot water, or maybe there isn't hot water, or, you know, things aren't it's not like staying at the Hilton all the time. And that's part of what's great about this. We're staying in this awesome lodge here at Bellavista, and our kids are loving every minute of it. It's just capturing their imagination, and it adds to the whole mystique of this beautiful, amazing place. And so be ready that, you know, not everything's going to have 2 double beds and a TV. We don't really even have Wi-Fi in a lot of the places we've stayed. So be prepared for that. And maybe bring some long underwear, because nights can get chilly, and, you know, most places don't have heat. Because quite frankly, with a couple of blankets and some jammies, you don't really need it. So not only is there all of this ecology in this beautiful country, there are also really wonderful historic cities. We enjoyed very much our time in Cuenca and Quito. There's a rich history. There's a lot to learn about the Spanish and the Incas and the other native people. I mean, there were people living in Quito 5,000 years before Christ. That's kind of almost unfathomable to me. That's 7,000 years ago that this place was settled. So that's a lot of history, and that's a lot to share with your kids. Both cities are UNESCO World Heritage sites, and they have some amazing churches. Go into them and show your kids some serious art and architecture. They're just absolutely amazing. Some of the best I've seen in the New World. They're just outstanding. So on every one of my kids' videos, people ask about food. There are not a lot of kids menus, but there's a lot of kid-friendly food. There's a lot of patatas fritas, so the French fries. There's rice. The food has been excellent. Lots of fresh fruits that I've never seen in my life anywhere in the world. And our kids have really liked that. There have been a lot of good juices and things. So make sure that they're prepared, that they're not going to get chicken nuggets and a Coke everywhere. Although you can get Coke pretty much everywhere. But be prepared, just that if your kids are not open eaters, my kids will eat anything, or at least they'll try anything. Just prepare them that, although you can find things like steak and pork and whatnot, you might want to kind of, manipulate them into eating new foods. Along with foods, breastfeeding here in public is completely fine. So if you are an intrepid traveler like me and you were breastfeeding on the go, it's fine here, and what an awesome thing. I wish I had been here when my kids were little, because it would have been a lot less stressful. So just know that you're completely welcome to bring your babies and nurse them on the go if needed. So those are my tips for bringing kids to Ecuador. I think that this has been a really enriching experience for our children and for us, for the four of us as a family. But they've learned a lot about nature and preserving and loving this environment. So anyway, I hope that you guys do it, and bye from the Bellavista Cloud Forest Reserve.